Stay tuned for your 3CR podcast. 3CR is an independent community radio station based in Melbourne, Australia. For more information, visit www.3cr.org.au.
We've got a fighting history and we never will be cowed. Our builders' labour is a name to make a man feel proud.
And it is indeed a very good morning from the Concrete Gang, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and with a very interesting makeup of the crew this morning. Gorilla and Campo, how are you?
Good morning, morning, listeners. I'm back, mate. The it's been lag on the old Concrete Gang. I've had to come back and boost the ratings. You know, Campo kept talking about himself and the Campo prize and all that, and the goanna's not here, and so I've come back to talk about myself.
At which you are very good. Righto, yes, you're on the Concrete Gang every Sunday morning on Community Radio 3CR, and, well, it's a week to go.
Oh, the elections.
Thank
Jesus
Christ.
What about that Palmer? What an absolute toss bag. How much? They reckon he spent $60 million.
He's brought every billboard company in Australia so he can put his billboard up. He's running around promising everyone everything. But
Except the workers he owed the money, Campo. He could have paid them with that, couldn't he?
I remember at the time he did promise them he was going to pay them.
That's right.
And he didn't pay him a cent. So Palmer, he is no good. And if anyone thinks he's a friend of us or the working class, you got to fucking have a real hard look at yourself.
Well, there ain't going to be too many people to vote for then, is there?
No,
because there's a few of them have exposed themselves big time. Yeah, should get done for indecent exposure, most of them.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
it's bloody been indecent, some of the money that's been spent and some of the shit that's been talked. But all we can say to people is you should vote. If you are a construction worker, you should vote in your own interest. And your own interest is don't let the union be destroyed by a re-elected Morrison government.
Exactly. They're going to spend $200 million on the ABCC.
Yes,
and we're only talking this morning what they're doing.
Well, the number of prosecutions that are being cranked up at the moment are unbelievable. It's a bit like the police. They do you for assaulting police, resisting arrest, and just to throw it in indecent language. That was always a good one. Because they couldn't get you on the first two, they'd get you on the indecent language.
Well, they dropped the indecent language to make good blokes of themselves.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's the same old story. Coppers are coppers. And the ABCC have announced this week, big announcement, that they are pursuing the New South Wales branch and the New South Wales branch leadership because they're actually been out there in the mobile crane area trying to get a better deal for the members. But, oh no, it's illegal industrial action, it's all corrupt, it's this, it's that. So the ABCC think that regardless of the election, they're going to crank it all up and have these prosecutions hanging over everybody's head. Well, that'll put the Labor Party, if it's elected, under a bit of pressure because they're going to have to deliver.
But just think, if they get...
Hey, Campo, you need the microphone, mate. Tell you what, Campo, you'll never win Sale of the Century, mate, I'll tell you.
Mate. But if they get that 200 mil, they've never had that much money. That's like 6 times the amount of money they've ever had in their history.
That's on top of what they got.
They're on jobs now attacking blokes over stickers and just... They're out to destroy your union and destroy your union conditions. So you need to... And remember... Pauline Hanson, she voted for him. Darren Hinch, all them voted for him.
Exactly.
So don't just think it's just put the Liberals' ass. You got to have a look at some of their micro party and see what they've been bloody doing to destroy your union. So, well, I hate them.
When it comes to the ABCC, only two parties have actually bucked the government policy, and that was the Labor Party and the Greens. So, folks, it's all coming up quick, a week away. Now, we should also talk about and give you a very positive report on the fact that our members do get good money, but they don't mind sticking their hands in their pockets and pulling out to help those people who have been in trouble.
Yeah, I suppose one of our strengths is the membership, of course, and when someone's had hard times or been injured badly or lost life or lost someone in the family, the construction workers always first to put their claws in their pockets. We've done that for years, and there's been a few people. We've had a few bad cases lately, haven't we? There's been a couple.
There's been a couple of shockers where people have died and their dependents need a chop out. And Fergus O'Hay, a long-time delegate for the union, he's left behind some kids who need a chop out, and something like $160,000 has been raised to help set up a trust to help the kids.
Won't bring him back, but it'll make things a bit easier for the family.
And so we're taking a bit of responsibility for his kids, and that's what we should do. And also there's a young bloke, Scott Hill, who I think his name was, who was killed break-up day last year.
Oh, yeah.
Left behind a wife who has since had the baby they were expecting, just moved into a new home. That whole story, another $160,000 raised and still some money coming in. Baby, very healthy.
Yeah.
And the mum going well.
Pretty sad.
So it's a sad story, but at least it's going okay at the moment. So good luck to them.
And there's one going around, I'm not sure the gentleman's name, but there was a bad accident 6 or 8 weeks ago where a bloke was working on an alley mac and he had his leg cut off, his foot cut off, his foot chopped off. So there's going to be pull-ups for him. We've started off pretty slowly with that one. So if you haven't been asked to throw some money in for that pull-up on your job, ring the union. We're not sure. I'm not sure of his name. I can't. You guys don't know his name? No. We'll find out his name for next week. But anyway, so if you haven't been asked to throw some money in, ring the union and let them know, because we hopefully all the stewards have been told to go back to their jobs and have a pull-up for this bloke. Obviously, he lost his leg, so I mean it's going to make a big change to his whole lifestyle and as far as employment and everything. So he needs as much as he can get. So just make sure that if you haven't been asked, ring the union.
Even at $10 a head, that's a lot of money that can be raised very quickly to help families out. And we've done it before, and we'll continue to do it. And just think, $10 is what? A quarter of the rate, your hourly rate, 1 hour?
Yeah, don't be miserable and just put $10 in. Dig deep, because it's better you putting your hand in your pocket for someone than someone putting their hand in their pocket for you. And and people go, oh, they've got insurances, they've got this. Well, that takes time. If we can't look after our own, we are kidding. So dig deep.
And if you remember the old days, all the old blokes out there remember, whenever that happened on the job, we used to always donate a day's pay.
Yep.
So,
it's a pretty small sacrifice.
Exactly.
Righto, so talking sacrifice, the boy wonder sacrificed himself on the cause of the union, and now he's headed back to the job. We're talking about young Theo. Theo's called it quits at the union, and he is going back to work on site. He's been an organiser now, 10 years, I think?
10 years, yeah.
Yep. And so he's...
Is he putting the nail bag back on? He could do it, Theo.
I tell you what, he'd have trouble finding it under the over the overhang.
He wouldn't be able to do it up, old Theo, would he?
I think a few of us would have that problem.
All right, Campo. Don't be so honest.
Anyway, young Theodore was the organiser in the inner suburbs, and Theo's given it away. There was a farewell last week for him, and he's looking quite happy back on the job, doesn't he?
Yeah,
looking quite relaxed.
As you would.
Anyway, well done, Theo, and we'll hang a bit of shit on you, and we'll probably continue to hang a bit of shit on you, but well done. You put in the effort, and it should be acknowledged. Anyway, we'll cut to a track.
What we got?
Well, I think you brought this one back from the Big Easy.
Yeah. That was where I got that from. It was opposite the hotel we stayed at. They start playing at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
So they give it full bifter.
They give it full of bifter, and this is Dave Ruffner and the something or other orchestra. How do you say that?
Jeez, I can't read it either. Anyway.
The Benet Orchestra of New Orleans. We're going to have some trad jazz.
Goodbye, Joe. We gotta go. Me on my own.
Dave Ruffner's supposed to be a traditional jazz band, and we picked my fault. I picked the one tune that wasn't a traditional jazz song.
You're in the gun, mate. As Cambo, as you understand, you don't get any say in the music here. They'll music director takes over, and mate, I think one more shot like that, he's out.
Well, I got to say, Jambalaya is actually not Jambalaya. It's called Big Texas, and before that it was called Big Prairie, till Hank Williams came along and wrote the words to it in the early 50s. So there you go, a traditional song turned around.
Still won't help you.
I kept talking when I'm in trouble.
He's all excited because North Melbourne had finally had a win. He thinks they're
what
moving
about
up.
that?
They're moving up.
You made some big statements at the start of the year about the Kangas, mate. They are absolutely, mate. They should be playing in the VFL.
At least they beat Port Melbourne.
They didn't beat Port Melbourne. We thrashed them.
I'm talking about the first team.
Jesus.
Well, I'm grabbing
Tell you what, mate.
Listen.
Well, talking about Port Melbourne, we should bring up that the Concrete Gang sponsored Port Melbourne this year, community club. So we've whacked a bit of money in down there. So you'll see our sign up.
And promoted 3CR in the process.
3CR Community Radio. As you said, promoted that, and we've got our Concrete Gang board up down the Port Melbourne. So if you see that down there, we've whacked a bit of money in behind local community football and 3CR. So that'll come off our 18,500. We've got to find one.
Ooh, yes, folks.
Well, it should.
He's just opened his gob to remind you that the Radiothon's coming up, the annual fundraiser's coming up, and we'll be talking about that next week.
Well, it'd be cheaper to build our own radio station, wouldn't it?
He's trying to be controversial this morning. Anyway, not to worry. Let's talk about something that did happen in the industry last weekend. In fact, there's a couple of things happened last weekend. The McConnell Dow job down at West Swanston Dock, an Austral piling rig went over it. Luckily, no one was hurt, but I don't think yet, unless Campo's got some updates, there is a very clear picture as to what happened, but there was a power failure on the rig, and next minute all shit happened.
Yeah, apparently the electrics went out on the crane, and this is still early days in the investigation. We're still waiting to get a report from WorkSafe, because obviously McConnell Dow, they're no friends of ours, and it's everything on that job's a blue because of McConnell Dow. But apparently the power went out in the rig, and when it does, and this bloke was boring down, for some reason it bites in when it goes out, and it pulled the whole rig over forward. So it went, and that's why the rig went down. So, but like I said, we're still waiting for a report from WorkSafe. I know the organiser was down there for 2 days waiting for WorkSafe to come. It was, McConnell Dow all over again. We've all seen how much they wrap themselves in glory, that company.
WorkSafe would have saved the day, wouldn't they?
And just on McConnell Dow, their parent company in South Africa, Avenge, is so close to bankruptcy it's not funny. So who knows what it's all going to happen next. But we should also say that while no one was hurt down at West Swanston Dock, thankfully, the operator knew it was time to jump, and he jumped. But out at Somerton, there was an incident where a bloke was working one out with a forklift and put a Caterpillar bloody track on the tines, and was doing some work on it. It collapsed and he was trapped underneath. The boys in the yard next door at Metcalf Cranes got in there and tried to get the track off him. It was too late. He'd been seriously crushed. They got it off him, but they couldn't keep him alive despite CPR and all the rest of it, and the bloke has passed away.
So cheer
on
out to the Metcalf blokes. They did
well
a
done
great
to the
effort.
Metcalf blokes. They did a top job. They kept the CPR going till the ambos got there, but unfortunately he died on site.
And it is unfortunate. But there's another shout out to the training unit too, because I mean they do a great job down there in Port Melbourne. The training unit training up our members, their first aid tickets and all that type of thing. And you never know when you're going to need someone the first aid to jump in and give you CPR or whatever. So and when you think about training on jobs or you get someone trained up, send them to the CFMMEU training unit. That's the best training unit going around.
Right, and just a little thing, if you're a bit rusty on the old CPR, you've only got to remember one thing. The Bee Gees hit "Staying Alive" because that will tell you the rhythm to do the actual compression.
Well, that's right. Well, I'll tell you what, if you hit the deck, it'll be Jimi Hendrix. Because we won't be jumping in, all right? We want to straighten it out now, right, Campo?
No, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
That's out. I'm definitely not doing that.
Anyway, there is a little video. I recommend it to anyone. Vinnie Jones, very famous soccer player from England and also a bit of a movie star in his later years, has this little thing on video. You can get it on YouTube. Vinnie Jones CPR, and it's a classic.
Jesus.
And it's accurate. Righto, let's also talk about a couple of other things that are happening in the industry. Compliance, huge problem. And the one that often floats under the radar is long service leave. Portable long service leave through Co-Invest. It is actually the law in this state that you have to register and you have to make payments. And there's a question mark over Westgate. There seems to be some questions about whether Co-Invest is getting access to the job. Talking to our blokes on the job, there are people who are not registered. Therefore, if they're not registered, they're not getting the money paid in. There's a whole lot of questions about the Westgate Tunnel joint venture. I just raised that, and the union is going to investigate that matter because very quickly get a lot of money owing, and then people disappear and no money's paid.
Well, with your compliances, you can always ring up and check yourself. I mean, that's the greatest thing. I mean, if you ring up and find that you're not getting your C-bus or Inkling or long service paid in, you can fix it up yourself. But if you're not that way inclined, always see the shop steward on the job or ring the union. But it's pretty easy, isn't it, Campo?
Yeah, like the Gorilla said, you can check your own. You can, if you aren't getting any luck with your shop steward or you don't know how to check your own, just ring the union office. We're happy to help and guide you in the right way. But Westgate, isn't that a state government job?
10 out of 10 for that answer, Campo.
And isn't long service leave a state government requirement and run by the state government?
10 out of 10 again.
Why are they stopping their own people?
Because they're not doing what they're supposed to do under their contract, and the state government should be enforcing the contract.
Oh, exactly.
Too worried about stickers on helmets, Camo.
Too many stickers on helmets.
Righto. Now, Co-Invest is an issue. Also, the delegates this week were given an update by Incolink about compliance, and there will be further training being introduced so that blokes can in fact check their own stuff, but also delegates, organisers and that can follow up, because some of the stuff that's getting identified at the fringes of the industry is even a shock to me, because Incolink, Cbus are usually reasonable in terms of information, and Co-Invest has always been the problem. But Co-Invest now have got an app and they've got an ability for people to check, and they're catching up and the others are starting to drag a little bit. But it's also a case of blokes have to take personal responsibility. You can't have 3 months of non-payment and go unnoticed if you are taking an interest in your account. And the horrible fact is, after 3 months, you lose the insurances. You are stuffed if anything happens. So we should also mention that there is a young activist meeting next Wednesday night at the union office at 5 p.m.
Yep, level.
Campo, you need the microphone, mate.
Level 7, obviously 5 p.m. Get there. There's feed before we get there, and then we'll workshop you on what's been happening in the industry.
I'll get there before the Queenslanders, because they'll destroy the pizzas. You, your mate Miles.
Please. I'd like to see what you're weighing in now after...
Well, I've put on a couple of pounds.
I have too, though. I'll give you that.
But I'm ready for the challenge, mate. You're still sucking about me winning the money.
Oh, we going to go double or nothing?
Oh, well, I don't know. You take it to all types of extremes. I'm not going down the road you blokes did, I'll tell you.
Yeah. But like I said, get there, young activists. We've been getting about 90 to the meeting, so it should be a good meeting, and it is the pathway to the future of the union. You know, the youth, invest in the youth and make the union grow.
Well, just out of that, I think they've put a couple of organisers that came out of that, aren't they, Campo? A couple of new organisers that come out of the youth group. It's fantastic.
So
The last two.
Yeah.
And we've got a new organiser also in the offside area, Ronnie, Big Ronnie. And he's taken over from Mick Miles. That's Ron Buckley. He's the offside organiser in training, and Mick Miles will be going to Johnny Perkovic's area, and Johnny Perkovic will be taking over Theo Theodorou's area. So a few changes, and got to get on with the job. Scallywags and Sookies, what have we got?
What have we got?
Clive Palmer.
Oh, mate.
Shit, talking about shit. Westgate joint venture, if there is non-compliance on their job, then they should get nominated. McConnell Dow, because they're being pack of bastards, but also a rig goes over and people could have been killed. It's a very confined space. And last but not least, CPB, UGL, both owned by CIMIC, who are in turn owned by Hockteeth, who are in turn owned by ACS Group. That's the Spaniards. From Madrid, the hedge fund. And they've just been exposed with manipulating, in breach of accounting standards, in breach of a whole lot of things to do with security law. They made it look like they had an $800 million profit because UGL went from a non-profit to a profitable venture, CPB, all the rest of it. Suddenly it was looking profitable, all false accounting. Oh dear, how sad, and they are getting state government jobs. And it was all about pushing up the value of the share.
Just the way you read out all those companies, I'm not an accountant by any means, but that sounds like phoenixing to me. There's that many different companies.
Jeez, that's the understatement of the year. That you're not
let me tell you that the other companies involved, Veneto, Broad, EIC activities, Leighton Asia in trouble, Thies, Sedgman, Pacific Partnerships, BIC Contracting and Divine. How's that go? That's CIMIC in Australia.
They're all shit companies, I'll give you
Hey, there's a few question marks over them. So who are we going with as the scallywag of the week?
I want to know the name and number of that accountant they're using. I'll give them to do me tax.
Right, who are we going for?
Oh, well, you'd have to go with, well, I don't know. What do you think?
I think Clive Palmer.
Yeah.
He's given me
right.
the shit.
You're right. Talking about accountants, yeah.
He is an absolute shamster.
It'd be interesting to see how many people actually do vote him. They've had their heads done in with all the advertising, won't it? It'd be interesting because you couldn't vote for him any other reason, could you, really?
No. Righto. Who are we going for as Suki Lala?
You'd have to say Westgate, wouldn't you? Not letting co-invest on the bloody job.
Yeah.
It's good enough for us, Campo.
Yeah, that'll do us. Westgate joint venture, that's John Hollands and CPB. So wonder they can think about such matters when they're more worried about manipulating their share value.
Righto. We go the same old way.
Dare to struggle, dare to win. If you don't fight, you lose. Good morning from the Concrete Gang, and also from New Orleans, a little bit of a track, original version, I think, of Shake, Rattle and Roll.